this video we're going to make a disco ball. So I've got some grey fondant that I've dyed grey, and I'm also going to use a polystyrene ball for this one. So what we're going to do is roll out our fondant. So I've turned it over so that I've got the back facing upwards. I'm just using a pastry brush. I'm just going to put a bit of water on that, not too much, and then that is going to go onto our ball. So I'll move this to one side, move our ball in. I'm just going to put my little bag of corn flour next to the ball to stop it rolling over there, and then I'm going to pull my fondant over the top like so, and we're just going to gently rub all the way around. Now I do have other tutorials where we do cover around polystyrene balls, so do have a look at those ones as well. So you're going to pull your icing out and rub down to try and get rid of some of these creases. You will probably find that as we get further down there's a few that we struggle a bit more with to get rid of. So we're going to keep doing that all the way down. Okay, so I'm going to get so far down, and I'm just going to press those creases in now as I get to nearer the bottom. Now because it's a disco ball, what we're going to do is we're going to put little squares over the top anyway, which will cover some of the bits where we've got, like I've managed to tear it and get crack. So we'll just go back over that, put off some of this extra. And what I'm going to do for the bottom bit, I think my icing might be a little bit dry as well, which is why it's cracking. I'm just going to cut some of these bits off and then rub that down. Be careful not that you don't cut too much away like I have done. You can use a knife, I just sometimes find it easier with scissors. Okay, so I'm not worried too much about the underneath bit because obviously it's not going to be on display. So I'm going to press it to get a flattened bottom. And what we're going to do, just make sure we round the top back, because I think I've squashed it when I had it upside down. And we're going to roll out some more grey fondant, which we're just going to cut all our little squares from. So I'm just going to move the ball to one side, and we're just going to roll this out. I'm just going to put a bit of corn flour on my work surface as my icing's starting to stick a little bit. Sticking to my rolling pin too. And I only need it quite thin. Now I'm going to cut my squares out using a plunger cutter rather than cutting them out by hand, but if you want you can just cut the squares out with a knife. So I'll just pop out my squares. So we've cut out loads of squares. If you want to give them a couple of minutes so they start to firm up a little bit, then that's fine. Sometimes if you stick them on immediately you'll find that they lose the shape a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by creating sort of a line that runs across the middle of the ball, and then we'll work from the middle. It's only a really light one. Now, I'm not very good with straight lines, so I'm just going to use my ruler to go about where I think the middle is. Sorry if I put my head in shot. And then I'm going to move my ruler either side so that I get a bit of a line so that I can see the middle. If it's too deep, just rub it a little bit so it's not as obvious that the line's there. And I'm just going to put a bit of water on there, and I'm going to start by putting my first square so the line's in the centre of that. Then if you prefer to put your water on your square, do that instead of the ball. Put the next one on next to it, just leaving a tiny gap. I'm going to carry on all the way around on that line. Now if you want, we can work on sort of the front, wait while that dries and then turn it over and work on the back, or if you prefer you can just keep going doing that line all the way around, and then obviously you'll have to sit it on the top or the bottom while you're making it. So we'd keep going like this, and when you've done as far as you want to go around on that line, we'll then go above and below the line that you've just put on. So I'm going to put my next one there. I'm going to leave a bit of a gap. Again, a little bit of a gap. Next one on. Trying to keep it in a bit of a straight line if you can. And again, the same above. If you prefer to use edible glue, you can do. I always find water just works alright for me. Okay, and again, you'd add more lines underneath, and you're just going to keep going like that. We're literally just going to do that until we have just the bottom bits left, and then just the bottom bit that's left. Again, we'll just try and squeeze the squares in where we can. So we've covered most of it. Just keeping going. So you'll see as we go further up, we end up with slightly bigger spaces between our squares, but that's fine. See, I haven't done the back yet, but I'll wait until the front has dried, turn that round, and then I'll do the back. And it's just exactly the same way as you do the front. So we've got the bit at the top. And we'll just squeeze in the squares where we can for that top bit. Okay, so when you have gone all the way around, what you're going to do is add a bit of silver to it. So you can either use the rainbow dust or the luster dusts that you brush over it, or you can use a spray. So I'll go have a look, see which ones I'm going to do. So I'm going to spray mine in a PMA luster spray. I've got a pearl one, but it'll look quite silver when I've sprayed it because the ball is already grey. Now it makes a bit of a mess and it doesn't always come off your work surfaces, so I've just got an old tea towel there that I'm putting down, or you can go and spray it outside. I'm just going to spray that on. Should really do it from a bit of a distance. So you'll see that's starting to turn silver. So I'll keep doing that and then I'll show you it finished. Okay, so I've sprayed the ball now. I'm just going to let it dry and then I'm going to put it on the top of a 70s themed cake that I'm making. So I'll put a picture of the finished cake up for you to have a look at. So thank you for watching.
If you liked this video and would like to see more, please click on the images of the other videos suggested. Also, please do subscribe to my channel using the button at the bottom right hand corner of the screen. You can also visit my cake website and my Facebook page to see more cakes and ideas.